My name is Massouda Kohistani, and I'm a social and political activist regarding women rights defenders.
My name is Khadija Amin. I'm an Afghan journalist I was working with state television of Afghanistan for 1 year. Before of this, it's about 4 years that I'm working with different medias as a journalist. And right now we are here in Spain, and I hope so that I continue my job as a journalist.
We cannot believe that Taliban very quickly take control of Kabul. On that time also we are about to talk about the women's rights, about the women who are under the Taliban terrible control in those areas. We were about to write some kind of manifesto, and also we are about to write some letter to the government that they should take care of those things which were happen in the other area which were under the control of Taliban. But the things which happened on 15th of August, which is unbelievable, which is not, even we cannot expect those things which has happened. And also that what that you have regarding the evacuation of people, that the United Nations and UNAMO and the other international communities, they already know, they have kind of preparations for those who are directly work with them. They evacuate very after one in last seconds, which was very fast and which was surprise for all the people. As the world saw on the media, lot of people were rushed on the to Kabul airport without even any official ID card or official letters. Most of the people rushing to the airport because they wanted to save their life, because they know about the Taliban behavior, they know about the Taliban ideology, how they behave with people. So this is why a lot of people try to came out from Afghanistan, because Taliban, they don't know about the rule and law, and they are not respect the human being rules. They are not accept the human rights law. So this is why all of the people afraid, they try to escape from Afghanistan, which was good opportunity for them. That the door was open and most of the people reached to the airplanes, and all of them were take out from Afghanistan. But after that, the international community and international organizations, USAID and UNAMA, UN, European Committee, most of them were decide to how to rescue those active women and journalists, because they were not on the picture, the clear picture, which has happened suddenly, which is unbelievable. I was also part of those that as the Taliban got the Taliban under the control, but we think on that time how we should work, how we should defend from the people rights, from the women rights. We are thinking about that, but we are not thinking that they will come and suddenly stop us. Like automatically they stop us. They did not allow us that we should physically work or physically defend from our right. Only we work through like a social media, WhatsApp, we have kind of connection with each other.
The situation of Afghanistan right now for the journalists, it's very bad, because right now the press doesn't have freedom. It's very important to have freedom, but now the press in Afghanistan became as a center of propaganda for the Taliban, because the Taliban wants to prevent from the reality that what's happening in Afghanistan. They wants to that the journalist doesn't share it with the world, that what's going on in Afghanistan, and to show the world that still the Taliban are the terrorists who were 20 years ago. the press doesn't have any freedom right now, and the journalists who are working with state television especially, so their life are in danger, because in these 20 years they was working for democracy, for the rights of the people, for democracy, for the progressive. So right now they doesn't have freedom. Whenever they wants to make a report, so they should ask from the Taliban, but they are deciding about this. Even something be negative for about them, so they are stopping to not share this one, because it's not positive for us. It's not in this report. There's not our benefits. So Taliban's always thinking about this, that they share these things that they're benefit for them and it's positive for them. And they wants to that the world should believe them, that they are not the 20 years ago Taliban. But if they are changed, so why in the peace negotiation there was not any woman from their side? It's one point. And from another point, when they took control of the Afghanistan by force, why they stopped girls to going to school? Why they stopped the women journalists to work in TVs? Also, there's lots of women that they are working in the private television, but in state television there is not any woman. They decide about this, that the woman even we don't want to any woman talk in radio, and the radio that it belongs to the state television. So they doesn't want to there be voice of a woman. It seems that they are always like this, that they doesn't have respect to the women's, and they don't believe on women rights, and they and viewpoint of them, just a woman is for a bear the child and be at home, nothing else. So it's not for a woman, and a woman have lots of rights to work, to study, and to have a job, and be as a minister, as a deputy. And we had lots of women as in these 20 years, and it was not very easy to achieve in these. We had lots of sacrifices because of to achieve the woman rights. But right now they stop everything, and we'll think like this, that we lost our everything that we had in these 20 years. So the freedom of press right now in Afghanistan, there's not. And we want from the European Union that they say that we will help Afghanistan. So in this situation, they can help the Afghan journalists who are still in Afghanistan. They are hiding in their houses. They can't write anything. They can't say anything, because they are not safe. They had lots of reports against the Taliban in these many years. So there was fighting for democracy. So right now, and they're at their homes, they are hiding. And I heard about this, that one of these journalists told me, right now, I am afraid of this. If my child go to school, the Taliban will kill this child, because that your father was working as a journalist. So their families are not also safe, and these journalists were the breadwinner of their homes, their families. So right now, who will support them? They are not paying their salaries. So right now, the journalists who are in Afghanistan, they are facing with lots of problems, and it's our responsibility, the European Union responsibility in this very important situation. They decide about the journalists who are still in Afghanistan, to help them to go out of the country and have a safe life. They are right now, they are waiting for what? After that many journalists killed, they will decide about this? No. In these 2 months, we was witnessed about this, that many journalists were beaten, and 2 days ago, journalists were killed in Ningarhar, and no one takes the responsibility of this. Why everyone is so quiet about this? We believe that many journalists went outside of Afghanistan, but not they all. the person who are still in dangers, they are not safe, they are still in Afghanistan. So because of human rights and because of the journalists' rights that they had, we should help them.
And my experience that I have 20 years ago when I was teenagers, still Taliban ideology in policy in behavior is not change. What changes happen is social media. The social media that time, there was not active social media. They block everything on that time that we have national TV and national radio. They block it. And they did not announce anything regarding the people, and people did not have right on that time to talk about it. But happily today we have social media that people inside of Afghanistan, they have access to social media. Those who are indirectly work in with anonymous names, they talk and they express about what they face and what they feel in that situation, in current situation in Afghanistan. All people, including men and women, young and older generations too. In the past, there was, 20 years ago, women cannot raise their voice. As you saw through the media, they stopped the women. They stopped the women, but during recent day, last week, one of the university professor with her family, they came out, they show with the message, we want a school, we want work, we want jobs. This is the one thing. And the other things, the young generation, they wrote the letter, but they closed their mouth because the Taliban do not allow them that they should raise their voice. As they were silent, they were with a piece of message on the road. Still, they are beating them, very rudely beat them, and they very brutally beat the girls. They stopped the women that they were came out on the street. But what they did, what the Taliban did, this is the change. I say that because they collect some of the women from madrasa, but they are the same mindset of Taliban. They call them because they show for the people a lot of women are interested or like the Taliban rules, Islamic rule in these things. Even they say in the media, frankly, those who are against there are very few people, but the rest of people are interested to us, which is lie. Because those most of the people, we have their voices very highly. She passed the message. She said that the Taliban forced us and they gave us like a black jobs that we should wear and we should came out on the street and raise our voice on interest of the Taliban, which is not true. She said that. That is the reality. The other reality is that on the first time when they show with the hijab, with the black hijabs, the women under those black words, most of them were men. All the people know that. Even in the social media, they open that this is not true. This is the other change which take place in Taliban behavior, and the other things they show positive to the world. That world should recognize them. But happily, I'm really happy that the world has still not recognized them formally. Women's situation is 100% under the dangerous because Taliban not accept the women. Today, I know that most of the active women are under the dangers. They are searching for them. Whenever they found, they are directly kill them. Last week, my brother called me. He told me that it is good. You are lucky that you leave the country because 2 times they searched my house. They asked my neighbor about me. Where is she? It is really good. I know that most of the women were keep themselves from the Taliban eyes because they're searching their house, they're searching their relative house, their friend's house. It's very dangerous for them. As they say that we pretend, which is not like a like a real word that it is very funny word. We pardon people who are working in these 20 years. Even they did not accept the education of these 20 years that people become educated.
As a mother, it's very hard for me that I left my children. And not only me, there's lots of mothers that they left their children. The Taliban forced them to leave everything in their country, and their families are still in danger. For me, it's the same, that my family is not safe. They left their home and they went to other part because it was very dangerous for them. That I can be silent because I can realize that what's going on my country. If I be silent and other people who are outside of Afghanistan, if we be silent, so no one will pay attention to Afghanistan in this situation, and it's very important. And it's very important for us, and we doesn't have any right. So the Taliban forced me to lift my children in Afghanistan, in my country, and it's very hard for me being far from them. But I want to fight for the freedom of press, for the women's rights, and I want to be their voice, and never I will be silent for this, because we can't, and it's our responsibility to raise our voice for freedom, for the women's rights, to have a government that everyone will be in this government. I wanted to say my last message, and right now that I am here because I had lots of dreams for my country. I had lots of hope for my country, but the Taliban. After the Taliban, it was very difficult to achieve these dreams. But in here, I want to be as a journalist to continue my job here, and want to show the world that if the Taliban terrorists that wants to silence the women, it's impossible. If we be in any country around the world, but we are still Afghan women, and we can be the voice of the other women too. One day that the women have the right that it's a human rights, and it's very important for us.
We request the world that they should take care of those women who are actively work in the past 20 years. They have somehow positions within the Afghanistan and outside of the Afghanistan. We really want to have some positions in the world. That, for example, we are going to start some protests, or we want to do something for ourselves, for our country inside of the Afghanistan. So we really want to have our own position. Right now, we start from the zero. You know, it is necessary for us that we should learn the language. So it is the necessity of that country that we are living in here, but we don't have any position in here. We are like a child. I feel I'm like a child because I'm start from zero. I complete my education. I have more than 19 years experience of jobs. I have very academic. I'm like an academic writer, and also I am very active in my country. So I need to have somehow some position in here too, because I lost my everything. In here is I'm nothing. The same me, the rest of other women in the world. And also, I would like to request for the European Union that they should organize some kind of international conference for Afghan women, that they should have kind of presentation or some kind of things for the world that they should show, because this is the very necessity things for us. We lost all the value that we have. We lost all the achievement that we have. Currently, it is nothing for us. So it is not good for us. We are very thankful that they save our life, but we need our positions, our situations that we have in our country. If we lost those things, there is nothing for us. Personally, I feel that I'm useless in here because I do not have any kind of formal activity in here. I do not have kind of formal position in here that I have before in my country. So this is very useful for us, that they should take care of us, that they should pay attention for us. And even for the Afghanistan, inside of Afghanistan, there is a lot of women that do not have income. Before they have kind of income, they have kind of small businesses that they do. They have like formal jobs. Currently, they lost everything. But we need to have some kind of direct connection with them, direct relation with them to pave the way for them. Somehow they should be somehow active here. Currently in empty hand, they cannot do anything. One of them were calling to me from some of the province. She asked me, you can raise your voice as a representative of us. But in here, we need also kind of support, like economic support, like something that we should do in here. But with the empty hand, we cannot do anything because our stomach needs food. So how we should go and start some activity? This is very necessary things for us outside of Afghanistan and also inside of Afghanistan. There is a lot of active organization that they idly work.
Right now, if the European Union wants to help Afghanistan because of humanitarian, it would be very important in this situation if they want to help Afghanistan. They say that they tell for Taliban that they should pay attention to the women rights, the human rights that they have. Without the woman, a country can be a development country. The women have very important role in a country. So if they eliminated the women, so they can progress because the woman is very important point of life. So in this case, they should tell them that we are going to support Afghanistan, but we want that the women have rights to work, and they open the schools for girls. Why the schools are closed? It's very important. As a Islam law, it's very important to a woman or a girl be educated. But right now, they close the schools. The boys are able to go to school, but the girls are not. What's different between men and women? That they are doing with the women, that they want to eliminate the women, but the men are able to work, able to continue their jobs, but no rights for the women. So it's very important in this situation because every medias around the world are paying attention to the Afghanistan. But I'm concerned about this when the topics of the medias around the world change from Afghanistan. So what will happen to the Afghanistan people? So it would be very dangerous, not for just for Afghanistan, for around the world, because the Taliban are the terrorists. And if they wanted to have a government, so they can have a democratical government, not a government that there is not any right for other peoples. Now in their cabinet, there are from one party, not from all over the Afghanistan. We have Tajik, Pashtun, Hazara, but there is not from another provinces. There are just from one party. So it can be very dangerous for everyone. So they should have in their cabinet, they should have women. And also the people who are in their cabinet, they are tourists. They are in blacklist of the world community. So it can be very dangerous for everyone. If they want to help Afghanistan, we need help in this situation because of humanitarian rights, that people doesn't have anything to eat. The people face with lots of economic problems. The Afghanistan people need to help, they need support, but they should say we are going to help you, but without the women nothing can happen. In this situation, if we be silent, so they will say right now everyone is silent, they are not talking about the women rights. So day by day, it will become normal, and no one will pay attention about the women rights, and no one will talk about the women rights, because we had experience 20 years ago. For 6 years, the Taliban were in Afghanistan, but there was not any right for the woman. So in this case, if they want to help Afghanistan, it's very important that they talk about the women rights, the human rights.
Kindly, I would like to request to the world, to the UN community, United States, and other international organizations, that they should not recognize formally Taliban, because they are terrorists. They are not the real government, because they are not believed to human rights. They are not believed on women rights. Our voices louder and clear, like the high in the Kush mountains, and long and higher same eagle on the sky. Please do not recognize Taliban terrorists as a government.